Hello, my little darlings. I have not done a book review, rant, summary, whatever you want to call them, in a really long time since I did Delirium this summer. And I really enjoyed doing that, and I was like, I want to make a book video again. So here I am. I'm going to make a book video on a little amazing book I read 2 or 3 weeks ago, probably longer than that, but time is messed up in my head right now, called Harken by Kaleb Nation. I don't know how well you can see this. That is the cover. Yes, I read this entire book on my phone. Yes, my teachers were not happy. Basically, Harken follows the life of a teenager, Michael Asher, who has this weird thing he can do with his eyes, and he can read your eyes as in glimpse, and he'll basically know what you're up to, if you're telling the truth, stuff like that, and it's really cool. I was part of the Nationeers that were following this whole thing, like when it was Secret Kaleb book on Twitter and watching the live web shows and stuff. So when I found out it was a conspiracy theory, I was like, okay, am I really gonna like this? Like, it didn't really sound like a book I would like because I've never read a conspiracy theory novel, but I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance, you know, I like trying new books. And I was really surprised how much I loved this book because the author kept doing, like, I'm gonna call it, he would write himself into corners. And I would think, okay, there's no way the author is going to get himself out of this, you know, unless a zombie apocalypse happens and everyone dies. And Kaleb Nation just kept writing himself out of it and making it more interesting and just made me want to read more and more and more. I probably read this book in 2 days on my phone because I was so into it. So, I have a problem when I read books is I tend to go to the last page of the book and read the last page so I kind of know what's going on and I can get on with normal life while I read a book. Otherwise I will do nothing but read that book because I'll be so suspenseful. The thing with reading Harken on my phone, because it was available on Kindle first, so I have the Kindle app on here, is I couldn't go to the last page. You know, unless I wanted to sit here for like 4 hours of my life, I mean, I wasn't going to do that. So I couldn't find out what was going to happen. And I didn't know when the end of the book was coming because my little bar down here, I forgot how many names were in the book. So, I mean, like, a good chunk of this bar was, like, all names. And I thought I still had all this book to go. And so when the book ended, I was, like, emotionally distraught. No. It took me, like, a week to move on with my life after I finished this book. That's how good it was. Basically, this book follows Michael Asher. I said that. And he has an assassination attempt made on him. During this assassination attempt, he escapes and he finds himself in the midst of this whole conspiracy as his friend Spud, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and he's following clues and he's going places and he's discovering more things about his abilities, and it's incredible to watch him go on this journey. And I think something people are really going to love about this book is there are times when you don't understand what Michael is doing. The character is so well put together that you don't always know what he's doing, even though it's told from his perspective. You don't always understand him, which is very interesting to read about. My favorite character from the book was by far Allie. Allie is Michael's sister, and she is so, like, crazy and just awesome. And I mean, like, I think my favorite quote in the book is actually by her. Maybe if I can find it in here. It's in, like, the first couple chapters. So now I'm going to have to sit and scroll through my phone and find this quote. So basically Michael asks his sister, "Zombie again, aren't you sick of being zombies?" And their mom say, "You'll be the only zombie in a house of mermaids and princesses." And then Allie, and this is why I love her, says, "Then I'll be a zombie and I'll eat the princesses for snacks." I just love that. It was like my favorite line in the entire book, and it happens in the second chapter. I was like, I like that. I like this kid. Me and this girl, we get along good. You guys should check out this book. It's amazing. I love it so much. I really don't know how to describe it. This is like probably the weirdest book review, rant, summary, whatever you want to call it in your life, because you just have to read the book to understand it. I feel the characters are so well thought out, and what I love about this is it takes place in Arleta, California, and you can go to Arleta. And I think that's going to get a really big following because that's one of the reasons Twilight was so big, is because Forks was a real place. We could all go to Forks and be like, this is where Stephenie Meyer envisioned her story. And I really feel that Harken could be the next Twilight or Harry Potter or Hunger Games because you can go there. And I feel that's going to increase the fan following and the base that it has outside of just the Nationeers that have been following this since it was Secret Kaleb book and following it over the live webcast, and now that the book's released, and has been tweeting about it like crazy. I mean, I love watching what us Nationeers can do, because it's crazy, because we're not like a really big force, but we're big enough to do things. And that's really awesome. The book's really good. You guys should all go read it. I think you will enjoy it. It's a great book. And if you want to see more books of me yelling at you about books, you know, you should comment below. Tell me your favorite books. I'm currently reading Looking for Alaska by John Green, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm reading Divergent. I can't remember who it's by off the top of my head. Someone's going to yell at me in the comments about how I can't remember who that book is by. It's really good. And I really don't know what I want to say about the book, because I don't want to spoil it for you. And if you're a Delirium, if you watched my Delirium review, you know I was like, spoil you, and that's the way it's going to be, and you're going to deal with that. So basically, if you haven't read Harken, you really should read it. It's by Kaleb Nation. It's only $2.99, available on your Kindle. I believe it's available on Nook now. You guys enjoy this book. I gotta go. Bye, darlings. So I told you guys I don't have a tripod, so this is what I'm using as a tripod. Just piles and piles of books. Look at that. And then those are my books over there. There's even more. And then there's more in my other room. So I guess you know I'm a book nerd. I've got a pile of books as a tripod. That's something I'm going to invest in eventually. Because it's amazing. It's something about zombies and princesses. Like, she's going to eat the zombies. Zoom. Always in control. Silver claws, they don't exist. Reptilians, yo. Just realized I should have worn my Nationeer shirt for this video. Oh well.